Hello everyone, I am BBD. You may know me from some of the Versus videos I've done or other unboxing videos. Today we're going to be opening some of the Fate Reforged pre-release packs and some of the new cards from the set. So hopefully you'll stick around and watch me crack open this Mardu pack. So the Mardu clan was all about raid in Construct here, but it's a little different in Fate Reforged. This time it's about dash, which is a kind of a new and interesting mechanic, so I'm really interested to see what kind of dash cards we get when we open this pack. Mardu is red, black, white, and it features some powerful cards like Butcher the Horde and Crackling Doom from Construct here, and hopefully some awesome cards from this set as well. So let's go ahead and bust into this box here and see what cool things we got. By bust into, I mean absolutely destroy. So Mardu is the Mardu Horde, and while my heart beats for Abzan, I think Mardu is actually the coolest clan. So if you're a Mardu fan, you're the coolest clan. I'm going to go ahead and see. We got a couple of random things in here. We got a sweet old dice, and we have the Mardu pin. So the box has a couple of cool things in that regard. And then we got, it looks like a bunch of packs here, which is, you know, I'm going to open these and see what we got there. There's one Construct here pack, but there are 4 Fate Reforged and a special Mardu pack, which I'm going to start with that. And the card I see on top is Arc Bond, not to be confused with Arc Bound. It is not Arc Bound Ravager, but it is Arc Bond. And this is actually a really interesting card. It kind of feels a lot like Blasphemous Act, where it's this card where you get to choose a creature, and whenever that creature gets dealt damage this turn, you get to deal that much damage to each other creature and each player. So, you know, let's say you got your stuffy doll and you deal 13 damage to it somehow, but you cast an Arcbound on it. Well, it's actually going to deal 26 damage. So there's a lot of really cool potential for this card. You can even do something in Limited where you like cast it on your own creature and then block their biggest guy, and now you just get to clear the entire board. So this card is probably one of the biggest and splashiest cards in this set. Has a lot of really cool effects to it. Got some of the Mardu banner and the Mardu land. Mardu is all about warriors. It's basically a warrior tribe. So we got one of the warrior lords in the pack, and we have Timely Hordemate, which is one of the sweetest warriors from Construct here. So we're already off to a really good warrior start. A Mardu Charm as well, which is another really awesome warrior card. Another Mardu Skull Hunter, which is one of my favorite cards from Cons for Mardu decks in Limited, and Ponyback, same thing, another awesome card from Cons. One thing I'm noticing about this pack is almost all Construct here cards. In fact, I think other than this Arcbound, we only have like 1 or 2 new cards. We have a Great Horn Krushock, which is old Siege Mastodon back in action again. Not particularly exciting, and that's actually the only Fate Reforged card in here. So that's actually a little bit of a tilt. But at least all the Mardu cards from Construct here were pretty cool. And we did get an Arcbond, but that's a little weird that it's just all Construct here. Come on, Wizards. You gotta respect the Fate Reforged Mardu. So I'm gonna open this pack here and hopefully see some cool cards to go with, you know, the Arcbound that we have so far. Abzan Advantage, which is an Abzan card, but you know, I think it's a cool. I think one of the things about Mardu is you can actually play with some of the other cards like Abzan and Jeskai cards as well, because they share colors and sometimes they're pretty good. Here we have our first dash creature, which is Alicia's Vanguard, and it is a 3/3 creature for 4, so just kind of a standard hill giant-y creature, but you can spend 3 mana to just dash it, which is, it gets haste and it gets to attack the turn you play, or it gets haste, but at the end of turn you get to bounce it back to your hand. So let's say we don't have anything to do on turn 3, we can just dash this, hit our opponent for 3 damage, it bounces back to our hand, and then on turn 4 we can just play it as a 3/3. So a little cool thing that lets us get a little extra value out of our card. One of the cool abilities from Mardu in this set. One thing here is Pyrotechnics. Now, I actually didn't even realize that this card is in the set, and this is a real old school card where you get to divide 4 damage however you choose, and this has been an awesome limited card for as long as I can remember, so I have a feeling it's going to be really sweet in this one as well. And our rare here is Yasova Dragonclaw, which is the teamer leader. Little traitorous to the Mardu cause here to open this rare, but it's actually a really cool card, so I'm not disappointed to open it. It's an awesome legendary creature. Maybe it's not Mardu, but it's cool regardless. All right, let's see what we got for this one. All right, let's throw these packs away. We have a Dowsing Gloom, which is a nice old removal spell for our Mardu deck. And we have a War Flare, which this is definitely a Mardu card. Trumpet Blast screams Mardu, and this is basically the same thing where you get to attack with all your creatures and then cast this card, and they just get to untap and become bigger. A lot of times you'll kill your opponent with it, but if you don't, your creatures all get to block again, and you're probably going to kill a lot of your opponent's creatures in combat too. The cool thing is that it's an instant, so your opponent might not get to see it coming. So this is definitely going to make our Mardu deck if we build one of those. Let's see. Nothing else too cool here. Actually, Tazgar's Cruelty is kind of cool. It's just a Mind Rot with Delve, but sometimes you can cast like 1 or 2 mana, just strip your opponent's hand. And I really like those cards in this format, so I think this could be a cool card, even though it's not a Mardu one. We have a Googans Construct, which makes you sacrifice a permanent that's 1 or more colors when it comes into play, but the thing is morph creatures don't have a color, so you can play like a morph on turn 3 and then play Googans Construct on turn 4, and it's just a massive 4/5 for 4 mana, so that's actually a really powerful card, even though it looks like it has a big drawback. And then we have a Wild Slash, just a good removal spell, a couple other things, and our rare is Mastery of the Unseen, kind of an interesting, basically a morph rare. Whenever you turn a creature face up, you get to gain a life for each creature you control, and it has the ability to manifest the top card of your library. So you can spend some mana and basically manifest the top card of your library, which turns the top card of your deck into a morph. And then if that's a creature, you can unmorph it and gain a bunch of life. It's just basically kind of an engine card that lets us do cool things the longer the game goes. And I feel like this is the kind of card I would definitely play in my deck, but it has the potential to be too slow, but it can also just be really, really awesome if the game goes long. So kind of one of those cool build around me cards that I think we would probably take advantage of. All right, let's open this one up and hopefully we get one of the sweet old Mardu rares that I've been hearing so much about. It's not a rare, but it is a Typhoid Rat. Can't say anything bad about Typhoid Rats. I've been beating people with 1/1 Death Touch creatures for years now. All right, so here's another dash creature. Whenever he attacks, you can discard a card and then draw a card. That's actually a really powerful effect in Limited. For example, Rummaging Goblin's a card that we've seen a couple of times in older sets that's been really good in Limited whenever we've seen it. And this lets you do kind of the same thing where when looting a card is just powerful, and this lets you do it over and over again, especially since you can dash it for 3 mana and just get a surprise attack in and make your hand better at the same time. Or you can just cast it as a 4/2 for 4 mana and do the same thing. So I think this card's really cool. Definitely make our deck. Mardu Woe Reaper is awesome. This is one of the kind of the coolest cards from the set. So it's a 2/1 for 1 mana, already a good rate. It's a warrior, so it gets buffed by all your other warrior creatures, like we opened that Warrior Lord in the first pack that we saw, and it's going to get buffed by that. But it also has the ability that whenever it or another warrior enters the battlefield, you can exile a creature from a graveyard and gain a life. So this lets you attack things like Delve, or even in Standard, like a lot of the Whip of Erebos type decks or whatever. You get to advance your warrior plan, and you get to attack their plan at the same time. So a lot of cool things with this guy. Our rare is the Crucible of the Spirit Dragon. Not that exciting unless we have some dragons, but I did see a foil behind it. And it is a foil Mardu War Reaper, so we get 2 Mardu War Reapers in the same pack, and one of them is foil. That's really cool. And also our land is a Polluted Delta, which may come as a surprise. Hey, there's a Khans of Tarkir card in our Fate Reforged pack, but one of the neat things about Fate Reforged is every single pack contains a land in it, and you have a very small chance of that land being a fetch land from Khans of Tarkir, and the fetch lands are all pretty awesome and worth a lot of money, so actually really cool that we got to get a fetch land finally in one of these packs, and to go with our foil too. This is pretty much the dream pack. You get a foil and a fetch land, and it's not even Khans of Tarkir, so pretty sweet for that. That was a really good pack. I'm excited about that one. Let's see if this last pack can live up to some expectations as well. Abzan Sky Captain, I'd probably play this card even though it's an Abzan card because it's a white card and we can play it, and it does some cool things when it dies. You get to make some of your creatures bigger. So I'd probably play this Dragon Bell Monk in our deck too, even though it's a Jeskai card, just because it's a sweet white creature that we can play. Now here's one of the cards of the cycle, which is Mardu Rune Mark. There's a Rune Mark for each clan, and this one gives the creature +2/+2, and if you control a white or black permanent, it gives the creature first strike as well. So there's a cycle for each of the colors. I'm not sure how good these cards are yet, but they definitely reward you for sticking to the Mardu plan. We have another one of these Tazgar Cruelties. All right, Goblin Boom Keg. Anything with a name like that has to be a pretty sweet card. I'm assuming this thing is just going to blow up a bunch and that's kind of what it does. So at the beginning of your upkeep, you sacrifice it, and when it's put into a graveyard, it deals 3 damage to a creature or player. So it's basically like you play it, and then the next turn, you get to blow it up and kill something or hit your opponent for 3. It's like basically a lightning bolt in the turn, basically a suspend lightning bolt. We have another Googans Construct, and then our rare is Supplant Form, which it's a cool card, but it's not exactly what we're looking for because it's not a Mardu card. But that's all for this pack, and let's see what we got in our good old Concertar Cure pack, and hopefully we can open something there. Unfortunately, this has been kind of unexciting for Mardu, so maybe we'll get something awesome here. We have a Bitter Revelation and an Alabaster Kirin, 2 awesome Mardu cards from the set. Kill Shot's also a good one. Horde Ambusher's a great one for Mardu, so this pack's been really good for Mardu. And our rare is a Sagu Mauler, which, don't get me wrong, this is an awesome rare. Pretty cool, even with stuff like Supplant Form. Also really cool with Manifest, because you can manifest this guy and then unmorph it, and your opponent's like, oh man, I thought that was just a land or whatever. You're like, nope, it was a Sagu Mauler, you're dead. So Sagu Mauler's a pretty cool card, but not exactly a Mardu card. But I will say that we did at least get a couple of good Mardu things out of this pack. And, you know, that's it for our Mardu pack. We opened some cool stuff, but maybe not exactly what we were looking for. Well, that was all for the Mardu clan. A lot of awesome red, white, and black cards. Maybe not the best it could have been, but there's still some cool stuff there, and I wouldn't be too unhappy to see a lot of these cards. If nothing else, we got a fetch land, a Sagu Mauler, and some other cool cards. Maybe we just play Teamer, because there are a lot of awesome Teamer cards in these packs. But overall, sweet packs, and I definitely wouldn't be sad to see something like this when I open my pre-release packs. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you check out some of the other unboxing videos I've done. I'm unboxing all of the pre-release clans, so check those out. And make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoy this and want to see more. Thank you for watching. I'm BBD, and hopefully you'll watch some of the others.